Beast, fantastic film, but I'm sure I was hearing it took a while to actually get there and get finished. And what was overall the hard road in just getting the film done? And how pleased are you with the final cut?
Well, Greg, I actually still haven't seen the final cut. So I'm waiting to see the whole movie, but look, from what I've seen, it looks fantastic. I think every martial arts action type movie can get pretty hard. And it's just a matter of people around you understanding what you're trying to create with the fights. And once they do, generally it gets a little bit easier. But I think the training, putting it all together, and then trying to execute the fight scenes at the highest level possible, making it look real, committing to it 100%, really trying to put speed and power and emphasis without obviously hurting your partner, the other actor. So I think that was probably the most difficult thing that we had to do.
Can you talk about I think your character is very layered because your character could have been this bad guy right off the top, but in other cases, he's really a huge competitor and he takes no prisoners. And some would say, why would that's not such a bad thing? But can you just talk about the layers behind your character for this film?
Well, firstly, thank you. I'm glad you really picked up on that. And that just shows that you're tuned into what you're seeing. Look, he's a human. He's someone who has worked his ass off to get where he is. I mean, the training sessions, the year after year, the fights, everything that he's been to get through the top. It's everything to him. It's his whole world. So he fights and he's obviously he's competitive and he's a warrior and he doesn't want to take a step back. And no one gave him this title. He earned it. And he earned the pound for pound greatest fighter in the world. He earned all that. And then the one loss that he had, which was embarrassing to him, was against Patton back in the day. So he really wanted to avenge that loss. So he pushed Patton to try and get Patton back in. And so many things happens with the organization. And he was accused of throwing this punch. But from Xavier's point of view, he didn't hear the bell. He was just in the fight. Maybe you could put the blame toward the referee. Maybe the referee should have stepped in earlier. But Xavier, he suffered the consequences, and which steered him in a direction of trying to keep his career alive and trying to keep everything that what he had earned going. So, and that's why they pushed for the fight, the underground fight, the fight with Patton at the end comes about as well. But yeah, he's extremely layered, just like any other champion. They're human. They cry, they laugh, they feel everything. They're not these stoic one-note soldiers. They're actually human beings. So yeah, he's extremely layered. His fighting means everything to him. It's just a human being trying to hold on to what he has given his life to and what he's tried to earn. So yeah, thank you for noticing that he come across deeply layered.
He, for him to be successful, he has to be very hyper focused. And I'm wondering if you can relate to that focus because I'm assuming to have a successful life in the martial arts, as well as being an actor and a filmmaker, one needs to have that focus as opposed to being very willy-nilly about things. Can you relate to that level? And how were you able to have that laser focus to do all these things in your life?
It all comes down to my martial arts training, Greg, and to my mother. Early on, she started me in martial arts when I was 6 years old. And just the way traditional martial arts is structured, like your next belt, your next goal, it's a small goal, incremental goals, and you achieve competition. I was fighting overseas when I was 16 years old. I had my first kickboxing match when I was 12. I fought in Hong Kong, in Thailand, in Europe. And towards my late 20s, I decided to, and one thing the martial arts taught me, if you want to do something properly, you've got to go and study it and put the work in. So in my mid-20s, I auditioned for one of the top drama schools, the University of Western Sydney Theatre and Opinion out here in Australia, and I managed to get a position in there. So for the next 3 years, I was there studying. And then in addition to that, studying with other acting teachers. In addition to that, always seeking out different martial arts instructors. When I moved to the United States, I found Ron Balicki, who was just an encyclopedia of the Filipino martial arts. So it's just that focus and never-ending quest for knowledge. And I've just been able to put that determination, that drive and that commitment into all these different areas to running a martial arts school and having my whole family around me at that martial arts school in Australia, pursuing acting, making films, and just putting that level of focus and commitment, which is born from martial arts training, into my everyday life. And I think that's one of the reasons well, no, it's completely the reason why I'm able to have focus and relative success in so many different areas is because of the focus that martial arts has given me.
I love films like Beast because it shows us that something we already know, that it's not about winning, it's how you also take the punch. And for you, is taking the punch and maybe your losses a better teacher than your successes, or is that putting too fine a point on the whole thing?
No, Greg, you're right, mate. You are so right. Everything, myself or other people, everything that I've worked for, I've had failures in as well. And I think you have to have a really good relationship with failure because that's where you learn the most. And that's where you can also be given your second wind of drive and aggression to keep going. A lot of people can fail sometimes and then they just, I'm done. The towel's thrown in. But luckily, again, because of my mother, if I failed something, she would say, get up, go again. And that's also a testament with the martial arts. Sometimes you can fail, but sometimes people quit in our school if they fail a ranking. But there's a big, strong drive to get up and to go again. Look, you've got to have a good relationship with failure and you've got to be okay with it. And it generally gives you the wherewithal to get up and to go again. And if you show me a person who has never failed at anything, I'll show you a person who has never done anything. We all fail. We just got to get up and keep going. And trust me, I've failed many times.
And thank you so much for your time. I have a couple more questions. First off, after really loving Beast, I can't wait to watch Life After Fighting. And I think you have another directing film coming up. I think it says on IMDb.
Relentless, yes.
Yeah. How does directing really fill your cup, supposedly? And then, what's the challenge in that? And why do that when that's an extra job you have to do on top of all the things you do on a daily basis?
I think the main thing about doing our own, we did Life After Fighting, which has this massive underground cult following at the moment, and then Relentless, which we have really, really pushed the boundaries. Probably the hardest thing I've ever done, Relentless. But the beauty about being able to write and direct, it allows me to really put my heart and soul into everything. With other jobs, they're fantastic, but you have to also work with other people and facilitate their ideas and their passions and navigate to a common understanding. But with Relentless, obviously there's collaboration with the other actors, but in terms of the story and the direction and also playing the lead role, I can really put my heart and soul, and I don't really have to navigate around other people to make the film I want to make because I'm at the helm on this one. So I think with Relentless, it's just that is probably the hardest thing I've ever done. And there is so much heart and soul, and the commitment from the other actors was just through the roof. So I think in addition to Life After Fighting, Relentless, hopefully that comes out at the end of the year, that is just, everything has been laid out on the table for that one, Greg. Everything. I was just, for 2 weeks after it finished, I didn't move. I was just lying down on the couch, mate. But look, hey, if anything's worth doing, it's going to be hard, right? Hopefully everyone responds to it really well at the end of the year when it comes out.
Bren, thank you so much for your time. Very quick question is, you're talking about your discipline and focus at an early age. Also at an early age, wondering, can you name a film that made its imprint on you? Like a movie that was so impactful for you that made you want to become a filmmaker and actor because you put a lot of dedication, like you said, heart and soul into your work. What was that movie when you were 12 or 13 that did it for you and set you on that path?
When I was 12 or 13, I would have said, I would probably say Best of the Best.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's weird. It's Best of the Best. It has Philip Reed, Simon Reed, Eric Roberts, Christopher Penn. It's a classic martial arts movie where the American karate team take on the Korean taekwondo team. It's got James Earl Jones in it. It's a wonderful film. But look, Greg, I've had so many, especially Asian cinema growing up, the Bruce Lee movies, Golden Harvest, Raymond Chow. All those films, I was obsessed with them. From Bloodsport to Kickboxer to Best of the Best, and then in modern times with the Raid films, martial arts, action cinema, and especially a lot of the movies coming out of Hong Kong when I was a kid. I was just enamored by all of them. So I can't really pinpoint one, but just because you said that age, I remember seeing Best of the Best at that time, and that has such a profound effect on me too. But what can I say? But in film in general, from everything from the Goonies to the Gremlins to everything when I was a kid, I absolutely loved them all, mate. And I'm sure you can identify with some of those movies too, mate.
Bren, thanks again for your time. Really love Beast and looking forward to devouring more of your film. It's down the road.
Thank you, Greg. Great talking to you, mate.
Take care. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care.